the establishing and building a culture and analytics capability, where would you sort of point an organization to start?
There are really two sources, I think, of the talent types we need, right? We want to be able to work with more healthcare data. We want to leverage that data that is generated for the primary purpose of delivering care to the patient, but containing all kinds of information we need about unmet need, endpoints that really matter to patients and clinicians, the cost of care. We really want to leverage that for a secondary purpose in developing and targeting the medicines and medical devices we're developing, right? We also are an incredibly regulated industry, as I noted before. And so what you find when you're, trying to create this bridge is that you have people who understand the regulated environment, the spirit of the GXP regulations and what they're meant to protect and how they're meant to, ensure that the safety and efficacy decisions we make are reliable for our people. They understand that well, but they don't understand the context or the nature of the data generation in the healthcare system well. In the healthcare system side, you've got people who understand the data beautifully. They use it every day to improve their own quality of care, et cetera, but they don't understand the regulated environment, the drug development environment. So, what our experience very, boots on the ground right now is that it takes both at the table.
So when you look at how an organization builds this, which do they start with, first of all, bringing in or training on the analytics side, or do they realize it's a cultural issue? Where would you recommend an organization start to look at the foundational steps in this area?
Well, I think because of, your primary business purpose, you have to respect the regulated environment first. That, has to be the hub of everything, that you do. So I find that we're pulling in the other perspectives, the other expertise into our environment. There are good industry societies, I think, that are helping bridge conversations and facilitate conversations around things like common data models and data standards. There's certainly changes in the legislation, the recent CMS and ONC rules that are really helping us with interoperability and helping us know on the life science side where to place our bets now, so we know kind of where to focus and train. What tools are we going to end up using? But you really, I think, can't get away from, the way that you're using the data, the kinds of analyses that you need to support. And so the hub has to really be that life science expertise.
If you were to, and perhaps maybe you can share some of the measures and metrics that you feel an organization needs to establish in order to create this value proposition.
We stand in the doorway of being able to change our clinical development process, to retool it in a way that we've been talking about in our industry as needing to do for more than 10 years. If you look at other watershed moments like that in our industry, maybe the one that comes most recently to mind, believe it or not, is going from paper case report forms to electronic data capture. So, what mattered? The rate of organizational change, the cost to benefit ratio, the technologies, the data access, they come with a cost. If you overlay your existing process, your existing workforce on that added cost, you haven't generated a return on that investment. You haven't made real the promise of being able to work differently, right? So I think you're looking at quality, you're looking at validity quality, you're looking at workforce efficiency.